Hey guys, it's been the Coin Geek at Old Pueblo Coin, where we have a brick and mortar store here in Tucson, Arizona. And today I have something that's a little bit fun because we've got an open box, but also let's just tease you a little bit here with we got some Crackout action going, and I think we're gonna have fun with that. I know I'm gonna have fun with that because you know, I took some soap boxes, and that would be the old ANACS holders, and went ahead and did a few. I did a few, but at first I did have a few Morgans and a couple other coins to show you that were in this group. For the record, this was an economy group, so it took, yeah, I don't know, this guy didn't seem to take that long. In fact, it feels like it took only a month on an economy, which is fantastic. Back to the good old days, so to speak. And the good old days, there's things about them that were good. Everyone's going to complain about the market possibly softening up, but at the same time, there's benefits to it. So this is an 1886 O, the New Orleans Mint, very scarce coin in higher grade. And this one, you can see it has a lot of little scuffy lines there, especially at that sharper angle. That is a little bit of wear off of the coin. So if you can really see the wear, it's usually going to be a 55 or a 53, just depending. 58s, I always feel like you should just only see a little bit of breaks in the luster, like this little area over here, just a little break in the luster. But when you really feel like you start to see some white on the coin, like on the neck right there, that's when you really feel like it's going to be a lower than a 58. But it does have a nice look. I've seen plenty of coins with that much luster on them called a 58, but a 55 I think is a good grade on that coin. Really probably a $200 plus coin in that grade for the specialty collector. Now this coin, you know what? I don't know exactly what I was thinking on this coin because I didn't really write down anything other than I just thought this coin looked cool. There's certain things that just don't really show up on the grading line, so to speak. The grade speaks to, well, only a certain aspect or element of what the coin is. It's kind of like when you watch a sporting event, or for me, I enjoy watching basketball a little bit, and you see, someone who doesn't score a lot of points, and yet they affect the game in lots of different ways. Like this coin has a lot going on here that's not going to be accounted for just in the grade. 79S common date, but I think I'm really most fascinated with the amount of lines on this coin. In fact, some of the old school like NGC fatties, when you see this look with all these lines, I think these are all roller lines on the planchet. They would call them PL or dimple on a coin like that. And the coin has a lot of contact marks to it. So MS62 is your grade, but once again, I see thousands of 79S's in uncirculated grade, and very few of them have those lines just popping up everywhere. And I don't think they're die polish. I think they're roller lines. So that's from when the planchet gets rolled out. It has those lines on them, and then it gets struck up, which is different than die polish, because that'll be actually from them polishing the die, and those lines will appear on the struck coin product at the end instead of before it was struck. So those lines, I believe, were all on this planchet before the coin was struck. That's my 2 cents on that, without getting a magnifying glass, without going any deeper on the subject. This coin was just kind of fun because someone had graded it extra fine, and I was like, that's a blazer, this Pilgrim. So the Pilgrim actually comes in two styles. The first one, the 1920, where it's got this split date here of 1620 to 1920. And then again in 1921, where they added the 1921 date to it. This is definitely a look that some of you guys are going to love and some of you are going to hate. The 1921 variety, the date's added right in this blank space here. And you can write my name. And let's see here, really pretty coin, I thought. That's just super original luster underneath there. MS64, that's a $120 125, 150, whatever, something in there, dollar coin. Really kind of fun commemorative. If you like boats or ships, depending on which it is, that one's there for you. Oh, so I've been, apparently I've been just like doling these out slowly. I've had a couple different, well, let me rewind here. I've had some Silver Eagles with some funky toning to them, and they were out of these boards, like I think it was like a mail order business kind of board that they were in, and they all had this funky toning, and I sent one in, and it actually straight graded. I'm like, oh, okay, well that's pleasant. Let's do that again. Now that one and this one, I think were the two that had like the really cool toning. So this will probably just throw on eBay for an auction. The grade doesn't matter quite as much on this as just this is kind of a toning paint by color piece. And really pretty dynamic colors, although I am intrigued by the 67. But that blue, the bright cobalt blue, is amongst my favorites. But what's nice for those of you who don't necessarily like toning, or I mean, to me the toning, I always like it when you've got a multitude of colors and nice strong transitions from one tone to another. There are certain colors you don't see as much. So like the reverse of the coin is very placid compared to the obverse, and the obverse has that brilliance to it that you really want to see in a toned coin. And now for the disclaimer, folks, don't try this at home. So this is, of course, for slight entertainment, slight education, and sleight of hand. But I do not like. I don't recommend playing the Crackout game. And also, I'm telling you, I'm going to figure out. Maybe I'll sign some petition to figure out how to save the Soapbox. I'm kind of a big fan of these little old ANACS holders, and this is not an exact example of what happens. I did pick ones that I liked, so this doesn't necessarily represent what will happen if you see an ANACS holder Soapbox and you just crack it out. This is, though, I will say, representative to the fact that a lot of these old ANACS holders have nice coins in them. This MS64 Buffalo nickel, I'll say I picked this coin because I thought it was nicer than a 4. The economics of this doesn't work out for the most part. I mean, usually on common coins, it's not going to be worth your time or money to get things recertified, to crack them out and send them in. I do recommend, if you like certified coins, to buy coins that are already certified. That just goes a long way. Whether you're talking about cracking out coins or sending in raw coins for grading, it's just easier to collect nicely graded coins with good eye appeal. So we go from a 4 to a 5 on that guy, and not a big jump. I think gray sheet on that is like whatever, 35 to 48 or something. So it's a $40 to $55 kind of coin. I don't know. Not a big jump, common coin, but still kind of fun for the program, folks. We're doing it. I'm not doing this for my health. All right, so this was like silly of me. MS66, because you understand if you want to get an upgrade from a 66, you have to get a 67. And for those of you who follow the channel, you understand mid-century modern coins going from 6 to 7. So all your coins from like the 30s, 40s, 50s. It doesn't really happen. It's just like an imaginary quest. It's just kind of like sending kids on a wild goose chase, which whatever that means, because I don't have many geese around here. But maybe you're just hunting that wascally wabbit. So a 66 plus, actually that's pretty good. I mean, a 7 is what you really want. I don't know what a plus is, but a 66 is only a $30 or $40 coin. A 7 is like 100, 100 and a half, something like that. So, this coin plussed out. Maybe it plussed out enough to pay for the grading fees. All right, so 43S and 65. Once again, the standard for Washington quarters is whatever grade you think it is, knock it a grade. And some of you also, I've talked about that toning on that Pilgrim. This is just a touch of that same color, which I really enjoyed the original. I like that color for whatever reason, but I thought this coin was just absolutely stunning. Very, very original, extremely clean. And so I thought I would love to get disappointed on that coin. So we decided to go from a 5 to a 6. Look at that. That's the old blind squirrel finds a nut once in a while. The 43S. So this guy also not necessarily something that'll pan out. Well, I mean 45 to 80, that's the gray sheet numbers. So yeah, it was probably a $30 swing, so it just barely pays for itself. PCGS economy service is in the mid-20s. All right, so this one has a little bit of a pro tip mixed in. I asked somebody, they helped me out. So this MS64, Ben Franklin, you know, the funniest thing is, like, for whatever reason, every name right now is just like, this guy literally has the same first name as me, and I couldn't think of his name. So here's the move, though, right? So this was a 64, and one of the things to look for on the old holders is if you are a variety collector or a type collector or something along those lines. So in this example, the Ben Franklin half dollars have a full bell line acronym that you can get put on the holders if you see them. And so that's those bottom lines if they are full. And, you know, so I figured I got 2 shots here because it was a 4. I want to try to get a 4 to a 5, but also it's not labeled full bell lines. So can we get this 4 to a 5 to a full belt? Look at that. So that one actually does jump quite a bit from like a $40 bid to $125 bid, something like that in that ballpark. So these guys, older holders, not just ANACS, but in general, if you want full bell lines or if you want some of the types and the varieties, like as an example, I didn't even look to see if there's varieties on coins like this that I didn't even put on there. And even on modern holders, you can cherry pick if you look close enough, because unless someone paid the money to get a variety on there, they're not going to label the variety except for the most common things, right? Like 72 double dies, things that are just considered that as the coin. But any other type of variety or error, or, you know, full bell lines or full bands, a lot of the older holders don't have that. And also I've seen that on some older holders where they weren't putting cameo or deep cameo on the older holders, they just wrote proof. So if you see older holders, it's sometimes you can get that upgrade by getting an FBL out of it, or by getting a cameo or a deep cameo on it. So, well, all right, guys, thanks so much for joining me today. I appreciate it. I'm Ben the Coin Geek. You can subscribe by clicking on the owl button in the corner and watch more videos on the right side of the screen. Thanks.